What is up, everyone? Welcome back to episode 14 of We've Lost a Step with Ethan and Caroline, who's doing the math today. And it's almost 4 months of us doing this. It's kind of crazy that we've committed to something for 4 months of time together, but it's wild. So, episode 14, which is exciting. How was your last week? How are you feeling about the last 7 days?
Don't hurt yourself doing too much math over there.
Okay, I'm a financial consultant. All right, I do math every day.
Supposedly, but I guess corporate finance does not apply to real life. So why do they make us take corporate finance? That's the real question that needs to be answered.
I
But
left business school before I had to take that class, so I don't know.
you did. And then you went liberal arts. So
Hell yeah.
economics, baby. The last week has been good. We're gearing up for our move to Boston. I know we've talked about that a little bit over the last couple of weeks, but the boxes are starting to get filled up. Got to go buy some more boxes. We just bought some more bubble wrap. So it's all becoming very real. The stress is starting to sink in. But you know what? We'll get there when we get there. It's all good. It's exciting. Lots of very exciting things on the horizon. Other than that, we absolutely sent it on Friday night. Went to this awesome dinner at Maple and Ash. There's one in Scottsdale and one in Chicago. Great steakhouse. Then we went out afterwards. Saturday was tough. Sunday we went shopping, did a little tuxedo shopping, struck out, but I've got an appointment coming up next Tuesday for more tuxedo stuff. So things are looking up. It's all good. How was your last week?
Bubble wrap, so riveting in life.
You can just
Me,
smush it. It's like an ADHD kid's
you
best
can't,
friend.
no, you can't pop the bubble wrap before you move. That's kind of dumb.
No. After you move, like once you're unpacking, you can just pop
Yes.
all the bubbles, and that's so satisfying.
You're jumping steps to the move already occurring. You got things to do before that happens. Also, tuxedo shopping. How hard is it to shop for a tuxedo? Are you having trouble?
Well, there's four different options. There's
So
different
many.
there's different lapel styles, and then we wanted to see how they fit with the actual shirts and the shoes and the pants and the bow tie. And the establishment that we were at, they were overloaded with prom goers. But I did have an appointment, but I still was kind of somewhat treated as just another person in the facility when I was prepared to potentially buy a tuxedo. And you know what? We're not going with that establishment any longer.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I was treated as just another one of the customers. Prom
No,
is
another
a
one
fact.
of the prom goers. I'm 31 years old.
No, I'm aware you're too old for prom, Ethan. Thank you.
Yes.
No, that is crappy though to be with all the
Yeah.
prom goers.
It just was like unfortunate.
I know. I'm pretty sure I requested pictures and I didn't get any. So maybe on Tuesday you could supply.
Yeah. I think Tuesday's going to be a much better experience. It's more of a boutique experience and a little more like
Oh my
one to
God.
one.
A little more 1-to-1. Jesus Christ. Excuse my language. My last week, I really haven't done anything the past few weeks. I mentioned my spending freeze, and that has also infiltrated my social life since I spend a lot of money in my social
Yep.
life. So
Yep.
I've taken a step back, I've relaxed.
You've lost this step potentially.
I haven't lost a step.
You've just taken a step.
I've just
Okay.
taken some time to relax. I went to the farmers market on Saturday, had so much
Ooh.
fun. I walked like 8 miles or something Saturday, which it was beautiful outside. Got a lot of really good things. I got some honey from my neighborhood for my allergies. Pro
Ooh.
tip, if you have allergies, get honey from wherever you live.
Local honey.
Thanks, mom, for teaching me that. And it
Yep.
helps, like, I think it helps my allergies way more than just like Claritin. Anyways, let's not get on that tangent, but really fun. Haven't really done anything else, honestly, which is actually fine. And I spent, do you ever like go through life and realize that like you're not good at like very mundane activities in your day, like in your life? Well, I've realized I'm really not good at brushing my teeth and not getting toothpaste on myself. And it happens
Yes.
constantly,
Yes.
constantly, like
Yes.
all the time, like morning, night, all the time. And it's really upsetting because I'm like, you're 25, like you should know how to brush your teeth and not like get toothpaste all over yourself. And I do have to say, of all the things in the world, toothpaste is the hardest thing to get out of a garment.
Do you know the trick?
Okay, so this is my point. I spent 20 minutes Googling today. This is the sweatshirt that has
Uh,
toothpaste on it. And I just bought a cute little set. So for people who know what that
oh,
is, a little sweatshirt, sweatpants set. Super cute. Okay, not just bought. before the spending
I
freeze.
was like, aren't you on a spending freeze?
Prior to the spending freeze, so like a month ago. And 20 minutes trying to figure out how to get this toothpaste out of the dead center of my sweatshirt. And I really can't figure out how to get it out. And it's so embarrassing. Like, how could I not know how to brush my teeth? It's ridiculous. So what's the trick? Because I need someone to tell me how to get it
But
out.
the trick is you have to take the fabric, right? So you take the fabric. Let's say it was on your
It's
on your
it's
chest.
dead center of my chest. Yes.
Take the fabric from your sleeve and rub it, and the fabric rubbing together should get rid of the stain.
Is this like the deodorant trick? Because that's what you do when
Yes,
you have
yeah,
deodorant.
similar. Yeah, it's similar.
Okay, I'll do it after. I won't do it
should
right
work.
now, but
If it doesn't work, then that just means fuck that toothpaste.
for those listening, I'm actually rubbing my
She is.
sweatshirt. I'll do it later, but okay, I'll try. Google told me white vinegar, and I got really nervous putting vinegar on my sweatshirt. But anyways,
It's
that's
not
what
bleach.
I know, but that's what I did today. That's what I've been spending a majority of my time thinking about also in the past few days. It's really dominated my brain. That's really all I have for the past week of my life. Nothing else that's been that exciting.
I know what else you've been doing.
What else have I been doing?
You've been watching the Dallas Stars.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, we can jump into sports because here's the deal. If you want to root for a team in the NHL playoffs this year, you could not like hockey at all. Doesn't matter if you like hockey, your team's not in it. I'm telling you, and I'm convincing everyone I know that
Wow.
Dallas Stars are the team to root for. They have no one you can hate. They're exciting, score lots of goals. And I just have to say, I think all of them can have nicknames that have star in it, as I've infiltrated our entire group chat with it. We have Daddy Star and Rocket Star and Robo Star. And I hope you all will try to figure out who all those people are, because they're all different individuals and all have to do with either their likeness or their name, either or. And they're the greatest team in the NHL playoffs right now. And if you don't root for them, you're just missing out on a good time. That's all I have to say.
But I will say that the gifts and the nicknames in the group chat have been a highlight of the last 7 days or so. They've just been so ridiculously funny. But I had Daddy Star pegged for a totally different name than the person that you said it is.
I know.
But I said it. I'm sticking with my version of Daddy Star.
No. You have to go with my brain of how I'm coming up with these nicknames, and I only send the nicknames when the person scores. So it gives everyone some information on how the game's going if they hear that the nicknames are ripping in the group chat, or if it's total dead silence and they're probably losing. But no, Daddy Star is not Tyler Sagan. Shout out Tyler Sagan. He's Rocket Star, of course. I mean, come on. Daddy Star is Dadanov because it just like makes sense. Like his name's literally Dad. So that adds up. And Robo Star, Robertson, and Robo Star is always followed up by a robot GIF, which makes so much sense. And it's so fun. So root for the Dallas Stars, people. I'm telling you right now, it's a good time.
It is fun. I do have the Dallas Stars going to the Western Conference Final against the Edmonton Oilers. So super excited to root for them. But the other thing that's come with you watching the Dallas Stars a lot is your hatred for these late night West Coast games. So please tell us about your issue.
To give context, I don't watch a ton of regular season NHL hockey. I know I played it. I'm really not interested at all, but I'm interested in the playoffs. Yeah. And like, for example, tonight, there's 2 games on the whole night. Okay. I don't know the time of, I don't know if they're in Seattle and I don't know if they're in Colorado. Okay. Those are the 2 teams. I don't know what.
Colorado.
Okay. They're in Colorado. What's it? 2 hours time?
2 hours. Yeah.
You have a game at 7, Eastern Conference game. Makes sense. Okay, whatever. It's a work day. You want to get people to go 7 p.m. I don't agree with it, but it's fine. 7 p.m. Why is the West Coast game not till 9:30? It doesn't make any sense to me, because I get the thought process of these people who are running the TV schedule. I'm sure is like, we'll get the Bruins game to end, then viewers will automatically just move over to Colorado, Seattle. They won't be competing between 2 different games, 2 different markets. I get it. But if you live on the East Coast, these games don't end until midnight or later. I only watch half of the first period, and then I'm like, well, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I have to go to work tomorrow. It's a school night. I'm not going to watch Colorado and Seattle. I'm not going to watch the rest of the game. So I'm missing out on games that are like Edmonton, LA. So I'm not watching McDavid or Draisaitl. I'm not watching McKinnon in Colorado. And I'm also rooting for Seattle, and I'm not watching them. I just think it's poor planning for East Coast fans which I do think, and I may be incorrect, are a majority of the market who are watching these games are East Coast and Canadian viewers, other than the Western Canadian in Edmonton. I just don't think it's good planning. I don't think they're marketing themselves correctly and thinking about it the right way. But I've always thought this because I'm not staying up till 1 a.m. to watch one of these games. It's ridiculous.
I think that's completely fair. And the only way that I would ever stay up that late to watch a game is if it was an East Coast game that started and I was fully then invested into it and it was like 4 overtimes.
Yeah.
That's the only way I'm ever staying up for a game that's on that late. Because to echo your point, yeah, I want to watch McDavid and McKinnon and these guys in the West Coast that are so good. But you get invested in one of the 7 o'clock starts, you watch the whole game, and it's like, oh, okay, I'll watch the first period of this game. And then it's intermission. And then you have the true internal debate. Am I ruining my next day or am
Yep.
I staying up to watch hockey because I love hockey? Most of the time, I'm like, I can't ruin my next day. Or in the case of tonight, I would love to watch that Seattle Colorado game. I have to get up at 5:15 tomorrow to go play hockey in the morning. So like I would get almost no sleep whatsoever if I decided to do that. Now, younger me probably would have done it and said, screw it. You know what? I want to watch it, so I'm going to do this. Old me, no, not going to happen.
No, there's no chance. It doesn't make any sense. I don't really understand. And I don't know if they do this, like, let's say LA's in the final, just thinking of like a 3 hour time difference. Like, are those games then going to be at, like,
No,
no, they're going to put them on a
they
time that people are going to watch.
they start typically at 8 p.m. on the East Coast, regardless of where they are. So, like when LA won their 3 Stanley Cups and they played, I think they played Philly the one year, Tampa one year. I forget who they played the other one. I think I'm wrong on the Philly guess, but whatever. Um, all those games started at 8 p.m. and they definitely played. They played the Rangers one year. So shout out to Kevin because he'd be mad at me that I said Philly over the Rangers. But
Yeah, that is kind of messed up. Yeah, see,
yeah,
they don't do it for big games.
no,
I mean, I know they're going to say, well, we're not competing for the airtime for the first game, but it still doesn't make sense. They understand that viewers at a certain time period in the evening are going to watch
yep.
that snippet. I just think it's ridiculous. I think it's stupid. The NHL doesn't know how to market themselves correctly,
Well, yeah, that's a given.
but this is just another example. Everything they do is just could use some common sense in the room instead of like an over analyzing of what they think is best. It just thinks like maybe they should sit for a second and be like, does it make sense to have the game with the best player in the entire league end at 12:30 a.m. Eastern time? And that's an East Coast bias. But I don't think West Coast people would really mind if it also didn't end at 9:30 or
Isn't
10:30.
isn't that kind of the perk of living on the West Coast, right? Everyone who lives on the West Coast always is kind of not shoving in your face, but maybe bragging a little bit like, ooh, football starts at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
and Sunday night football is over at 6 p.m. and we can still have dinner and go to bed at a normal time, like all that stuff, right? So, yes, would it be harder to fill the arena at 6 p.m. on a Thursday in LA? Probably, but it's LA. Like people are going to the game regardless. It's just a very different culture than East Coast culture. So, start the game at a time where we can watch the game. And this is also why East Coast media within specifically the NHL holds such a bias to the award winners within the Eastern
Yeah.
Conference, like Sidney Crosby, Steven Stamkos, Martin St. Louis when he played. Like all these guys would win NHL MVP because they're seen more often than not by the media because most of the media members are East Coast based, just due to the heavy population of hockey teams in the like Eastern United States and Canada. So
No, I agree. I'm on the same page. I think it's ridiculous. I complain about it every day.
you do. But moving on to the NFL.
No, we are not moving on to the NFL, Ethan.
Why?
We have
Why?
something to talk about.
Is this like family therapy?
It should be. We need to talk about
Go
how
ahead.
this Bruins versus Panthers series is seriously breaking up our entire family. It's
Oh, only because you guys won't just let me do me.
shut up. You always say that stupid shit when you're doing stupid stuff. You won't let me do me. It's stupid. I'm going to say it like that. You're not from Boston. You weren't born and raised in Boston. You're the fan of quote unquote what should be what would be if they were any good, the rival team of Boston.
If they
Yeah,
were any good.
I said it. It's breaking up the family. And shout out Naked Cat. I hope it haunts you in your freaking dreams. I hope it haunts you.
I
And you know
think
what?
we
I
should
know that
post.
no, I'm not done. I know that the Panthers are going to lose tonight and lose the series. And I already said that they were going to lose in 5 games. I said that last time. I own my statement. I am on board with that. But your allegiance is upsetting and it's breaking up the family. And I hope that you think about it before you fall asleep.
Listen, I think about Naked Cat a lot.
Good, you should. And for people who don't know what that is, I will
We
post a
should.
picture
I
on
was gonna say we should
Instagram
post the picture.
because it sounds haunting. Well, it is haunting, really.
It's listen. It is haunting how
It's
ugly that
it's
fucking
the
thing is.
best GIF. I don't know how to say that. I
GIF.
get
Well, it's GIF. It's GIF peanut butter, JIF. So it's a G. I think it's GIF.
I get insecure every time it's about to come out of my mouth and I second guess it. Anyways, it's the best thing I've ever found in my entire life. It's really
It's
transformed Thomas, Ben, and my relationship. Really.
Yeah, you guys have really bonded over hating me. So whatever.
Oh my
Whatever brings
God, no
everyone
one hates
closer.
you. You're so drama. Oh,
Whatever whatever brings everyone closer. But that's okay. You know what? At the end of the day, I still have the Bruins going to the finals, and I did get everyone to acknowledge that they think the Bruins are the better team. That's all I wanted.
no one
That,
said that they were the worst team.
that's all I
Everyone just
wanted.
didn't like that you were. You know what? Okay, I'm not hashing this out because you're not even taking it into your
Yes, I am.
brain and
Yes, I am.
thinking it. You know what? We're moving on. We're moving on to the NFL. Some off-season news happened this week. I can't speak to you about this anymore. As I said in like our first episode or second episode, Robert Saleh, you listen to me. Aaron Rodgers coming to the big city of wherever, New Jersey, and he's officially a New York Jet, and I'm excited
Why?
because it's good when the football teams here are good.
Okay, that's fair. I guess it brings lots of excitement. He's now a member of the AFC East that has Mac Jones, maybe a different quarterback. I've seen a lot of Patriots draft chatter about maybe
Really?
about the Pats potentially taking someone else. We never know.
I think that's a mistake.
Bill Belichick marches to the beat of his own drum, but Mac Jones was a first round pick, so he's going to be the guy. Mac Jones, Tua Tagovailoa, which the lefty from Hawaii, he's one more concussion away from probably not playing in the NFL any longer. Then Aaron Rodgers and then Josh Allen, the Lord and Savior in Buffalo. So I
The
saw a
cheating
real
Lord and Savior.
yeah, but this is not a pop culture podcast. We're not going to
I'm just
that
saying.
that has not been verified anywhere, literally anywhere.
He looks like
He does. He
he
does
looks
look like he's
disheveled. He
yes,
looks
he
like he's
does.
going through some personal life
He
issues.
does look disheveled. I saw this really interesting uh video from Dan Orlovsky. I'd have to find it and tweet it out, but he basically named off a whole bunch of AFC quarterbacks: Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, Tua Tagovailoa, and there were others. And he was like, only 7 of these guys make the playoffs next year.
No, it's wild.
The AFC is loaded.
No, it's insane. And Bills fans, including myself, are going to be so pissed when we don't win the Super Bowl again.
Oh yeah, it's gonna
But
be awful.
it's like absolutely impossible.
If you can get out of the AFC, technically you should win the Super Bowl just
Yeah, but
because you are like.
it's like the NHL playoffs. So it's like if you can get out of the Eastern
I
Conference this
agree.
year, you're going to be like so battered and tired
Right.
that it's like
Right.
I can't handle one more game.
No, I mean I completely agree. I just thought that was super interesting. It's like holy shit, there are truly that many really good quarterbacks within the AFC. And then you add Aaron Rodgers to the mix and it's like, dude, he's such a weirdo. He went on his darkness retreat, all this stuff. Did you see what he said today, by the way?
About
How
Zach Wilson?
no,
Oh,
about how he didn't hear from a lot of Packers personnel or players when he was at home because he doesn't have very good cell service and he prefers FaceTime anyway. And then he went back through his call history. He's like, yeah, no one called me to make me stay.
he is such
He's
a
such an ass.
interesting human being.
Yeah.
He's old though.
How
So
how
like
old is he? How
38,
old do we think he is?
38.
Let's see. Guess the age.
Well, you look it
Ooh,
up.
close, close.
He said today or some other day because Zach Wilson, when initially he was interviewed that Aaron Rodgers was going to get traded, he was like, I'm going to make his life hell in practice.
Yes. Yep.
And Aaron Rodgers was like, yeah, and I'm going to make his life heaven in the game. And I was like, that's really funny.
Ooh.
If I was Zach Wilson, I'd be like, trade me, please. Get me off this team right now.
But I mean, no one really wants Zach
He can go be a
Wilson.
backup somewhere.
And this episode is not going to turn into a discussion about the New York Jets quarterback, FYI.
Okay, well, it is a point of our discussion.
But as a Bills fan, how does this trade make you feel about the AFC East and their chances?
Nervous. It makes me nervous. Everything makes me nervous about the Bills.
Yep, agreed.
Nothing makes me confident. Nothing makes me feel happy. Nothing makes me feel secure. It's like a
Agreed.
toxic relationship that you just can't get out of. They don't make me feel
Damn.
like warm and cuddly inside.
Damn. I mean, I tend to agree. I didn't really compare it to a toxic relationship, although I know that my relationship with the Buffalo Bills is wildly toxic. But that's okay. Like I couldn't even stand what was it, the Christmas Eve game against I don't remember who they played. I had 4 Cosmos because of that. I think they played the Bears.
Yeah, but remember how bad they were playing in the first?
Oh, they were. I mean, it was terrible. It was a joke. But in other NFL news, the NFL draft is tomorrow. The first round of the NFL draft is tomorrow.
I gotta look some people up.
I think it's super interesting this year. I'm on the CBS Sports website right now, looking at a bunch of different mock drafts. I don't know. I like CBS Sports for some reason, or they just pay a lot of money to show up in the Google searches first, which they probably do that.
Probably,
which is smart by them. One of the pundits, let's say, one of the talking heads, one of the guys who gets to write about football, he has 4 out of the first 5 picks, all quarterbacks. The Alabama quarterback, the Ohio State quarterback, the Kentucky quarterback, and the Florida Gators quarterback. Now, of those, I would bet that only the Kentucky quarterback lasts more than 4 years.
That's wrong. I think you're wrong.
Do you know his name?
Will Levis.
Will Levis, yeah. By the way, he's jacked.
Yeah, he has an arm like Josh Allen. Supposedly, he's been telling people that he's getting drafted first overall. Which,
confidence.
Who knows if people are wondering if his like betting, it went from like, now I don't know how betting works, people, so like bear with me. It was like plus 1,400, and then this rumor started going around that he was like telling friends and family like be ready, like and when it starts, and then his betting went up went up, right, or down, whatever, to like plus 300 to be the first overall pick.
So that means he became more of a favorite.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like it improved or whatever. Yep. I think that Bryce Young is Kyler Murray, but hopefully with a better coach. And he got the highest score like ever on that QB decision-making test, which by the way, CJ Stroud got like the lowest scored ever.
Wait, hold on. So let's pause on CJ Stroud. He said, I'm not a test taker. I play football. I know I'm one of the smartest quarterbacks in the NFL. I don't think you can play at Ohio State and not be smart. Now, personally, I beg to differ on that opinion.
I just don't see how any of that aligns with, I don't think the test is what is like the chemical symbol for carbon. It's like testing how you make decisions.
Correct.
It's like in this scenario, what would you choose, like A or B? Like it's things that are just like not like school, first of all. And I'm not saying that he is smart or not smart. I have absolutely no idea.
I'm not either. I'm just commenting.
But he got the worst score ever. I mean, there's something to be said about many quarterbacks who never even probably played a snap, who are horrible, have ranked higher than him.
Yep.
And his response is, I'm not here to take a test. That's not great. You could say you had a tough day. I mean, there's other PR moves for this. I think Bryce Young's going to be really good as long as he has the right coaching staff and offensive line, because he's a short guy. I think that's going to be a big factor. And I think Anthony Richardson, the Florida quarterback, he's young. I think he's like 21 or something. He's huge. He's built like
also
a tight
like
end.
A freak athlete.
Yeah, he's built like a tight end, but like a uber athletic tight end. And whoever's going to pick him, I can't remember what team it was, who they kind of like mocking drafting him there. A lot of it is like he'll sit for 2 years or something. And I think that he can chuck it. He can run. He's a big dude. I think he could end up being a stud.
Yeah, people think the Colts are going to take him.
Who's their quarterback right now?
I don't even know. I think they had 3 or 4 different quarterbacks in the last couple of seasons. But the NFL draft, it's the first round on Thursday, April 27th. They take 4 hours to do 31 picks. It's the
Yeah.
world's longest. The Bills are picking like 27th or
I'll be
something.
asleep.
I think they're slated to take a middle linebacker from Iowa, which is fine, whatever. Don't care about that. But moving on to the other playoffs that have been occurring all at the same time, the NBA playoffs.
What do you know about what's going on in the NBA playoffs right
I
now?
know that the Sixers have already won their series, as well as the Suns and the and someone else. But so the scheduling in the NBA playoffs just makes no sense to me. The Sixers have been hanging out for like 5 days.
Well, didn't
Just
they win
not
in 5 games or
I,
4 games?
I believe so, but the Celtics and Hawks just played their fifth game last night.
They play what,
So
every 2 to 3 nights?
something like that. And I know because the Bruins are good, the Celtics have had to deal with like
Yeah.
TD Garden issues and all that stuff. But like, I don't know. It's still the NBA playoffs, and we are supposed to care about it.
Are we?
LeBron,
Who said we cared about it?
LeBron is making. Have you seen this guy, Dylan Brooks? He's been acting like an absolute ass.
I just don't understand why anyone better than you in a professional sport like this, you would run your mouth publicly. I
Right.
understand on the court if you're like trying to get in their head,
Yeah.
whatever. But like publicly in the media saying like stuff like, oh, he's old, he's nothing, blah, 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 whatever. And then now the past 2 games refusing to do interviews in the media. He deleted all his pictures on Instagram. He won't talk to anyone because he's embarrassed. I'm like, why are you like, that's so ridiculous. It's so like, why are you being a baby now that you basically told the greatest player ever that he was old and he wouldn't score on him? Like, that's so stupid.
Yeah. He's behaving like a child, and they're probably going to lose the next time they play. The Lakers are up 3 games to 1. You can never really count um, LeBron out. I think the very interesting thing that I didn't really know a ton about the NBA, but like if you're in a top three seed, you're pretty much moving on to the
Yeah,
next round. But the Miami Heat are up 3 games to 1 on the Milwaukee Bucks.
I
Now,
know.
Milwaukee might have some injuries. I know that Giannis was hurt for a certain period of time throughout the season. So that is something interesting to watch. The Celtics lost last night on a buzzer beater from Trae Young. I think he shot it from like the logo. Hopefully the Celtics get it done. It's always cool to have the Celtics to root for, just as a someone that needs to play to their fans, play to their
It's
audience,
always cool when the Boston teams win.
play to their audience, not the Patriots. I don't want them to ever win.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah,
Are
positive.
you
Don't worry.
really? Are you sure? You can take time to think
Positive.
about it and get back to me if you want.
I I don't need to take any time to think about that. But I would also like to talk about the college football news because this is something that's really interesting. Deion Sanders is now the head coach of the University of Colorado Buffaloes, and he made a big old scene when he went in there to be the head coach, saying he's got his Louis Vuitton luggage, and if you don't want to be in the luggage, then you can enter the portal. Well, I'll let you tell the rest.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. I read the article in The Athletic. I've been following a little on Twitter, just like what's going on with them because he's quite an interesting guy. And basically, 46 scholarship football players have entered the transfer portal in 2022. That's like an astronomical amount, even in football, like double the next school. And 41 existing or exiting since Sanders took over. So that means only 5 players transferred when their season ended and they went 1-11. So crazy. They had 83 scholarship players at the start of 2022 season, which we won't even get into having 83 scholarship players on one team, but crazy. And only 20 are still on the roster as of Monday night. And I'm pretty sure as of today, that's down to 18. So insane. They have 18 scholarship players that were there last fall. Multiple players got interviewed who said, when we were all the players who were here last year didn't even speak to us. No meetings, never talked to him like one-on-one, really never had any conversations with him at all. I mean, a lot of them were nice. They're like, I'm not expecting him to speak to us. There's like 100 of us. But
Right.
they were like, we are full ride kids, like expecting to compete for a job. And of those who hadn't transferred on their own, he cut, I think, like 25 or 30 kids on Sunday, like brought them all to their office and was just like, you should enter the portal. Like, you're no longer allowed on this team. And the Colorado has to honor their scholarships as like a normal student. but they obviously all entered the portal. It's just insanity. I understand they stunk. I understand they were 1-11, but like 46 players is crazy amount of people. And he brought over like 40 from Jackson State or something. But like, are they going to be better? I just don't
No,
understand.
I can't imagine they'll be any better. I guess that will be something very interesting to watch as college football starts, not until end of August, but that will be super interesting to watch because he did turn that Jackson State program from like a 1-win team, I think, and then they were going 11 or 12-1, but basically every year. So that was super interesting. So more to come on that as we see more updates. I know everyone's super enthralled with that, but there are a couple other things that we want to discuss.
Super enthralled with that.
The New Jersey Little League that will force parents that confront an umpire to suit up and ump 3 games before they're allowed to return as spectators. Now, this could both be good or bad.
I think it's brilliant.
Why?
Because I think it will actually hopefully shut some parents up. Because if they force them to actually ump, I want that New Jersey dad behind the plate with 9-year-old Timmy throwing pure balls just in the dirt and have other parents screaming at him that he's not making the right calls. I think it's brilliant to make him go through. You have like kids who volunteer to be these umpires, like teenagers, and parents scream at them. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea. I love this little tidbit that you couldn't even call balls and strikes in T-ball. You know the
Yeah.
ball just sits on the tee,
Yeah,
right?
that's the joke, Ethan.
Oh, okay, good one. Nice.
No, I
Really
don't think
funny.
I could call balls and strikes in Little League.
I think you could,
Okay,
unless the
no,
catcher was taller than you, which could, I mean, it could happen.
true. There's guys in the Little League World Series who are taller than me,
Yeah,
but I don't think I could. I don't know what the strike zone is on an 11-year-old.
it's like knees to mid stomach.
I would just be like, it's close, strike.
I think that's why these umpires get yelled at.
Well, then I would get yelled at and I would learn my lesson and I would be put in my place and it would be effective.
Even the umps in Major League Baseball get things wrong. I follow this umpire scorecard thing on Twitter, and it grades all the
Oh, I
umps
love that.
every single game. I just love I love the graphic display of right and wrong, and it's so interesting how they're able to then tell you if like a guy called a ball and then they got a run.
Yep.
So then it's like potentially favoring another team. And there's a couple umps in Major League Baseball who are awful.
Horrible.
They only call like 80% right. And then there are other umpires who call like 98% right. In the era that we're in, this technology era, I'm fine with keeping human error in the game of baseball by having the umpire there because we could just go to the digital strike zone and it wouldn't even matter. But like you would think that Major League Baseball would maybe get out of this pastime where, oh, well, he's been an ump for 30 years. We need to give him until he retires at age 68. So that's like, that could be 7 more years, who knows, of just awful umpiring. No, get his ass out of there. Get someone up from AAA who can call the game the right way because you know that they're grading all these different umpires. Now I'm on a fucking baseball umpire rant, but just get people who can referee the game properly. It shouldn't be that hard.
I agree.
It really shouldn't.
I agree. We all get performance reviews in our job. Everyone does. And we all could get laid off if our performance review isn't great. So they should be laid off. Same with, I read an article about NHL officials. Now we're on a referee.
Yeah, well, it's
and they grade them too. They show them all the videos of the penalties they called, all the missed calls, all the calls they should have made. And same process. And you should be able to get fired if you fall under a certain threshold. But there ends the referee rant. I wanted to end today with another TSA story. To circle back on our TSA news.
Yes, shillelaghs and all.
Shillelaghs and all. In the Boston Logan Airport, speaking of Boston all the time, a airline passenger was arrested for carrying a self-defense weapon in his backpack known as a vampire straw. And for Ethan, I included a picture so he could see it.
This thing's wild.
I know. And a trooper was alerted at security about the 10-inch long titanium straw that has a beveled end, and it was found in the guy's backpack. The company that makes the straw. So when you think of a straw, what do you think? You think smoothies and
I
drinks,
think of
coffee.
the bendy extendo straw.
Yes, but you think of what they're used for. I'm saying the
Yeah,
activity.
smoothies, coffee, a good Diet Coke.
Oh, good Diet Coke. Yes.
Yeah.
Also, the website says could be used as a dagger. Now, I'm not sure how we get there in the manufacturing process, like how sharp that end of it. It
And it
looks like a
looks
boba
sharp.
straw for people who drink boba,
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
metal. That's what it looks like. And this dude like fully got arrested. Like he's going to court for this, even though he had supposedly no idea that it was considered a weapon. It's crazy.
So here's the thing about all this. If you purchase something named the vampire straw, don't you think you're going to potentially look into why
I
it's
mean,
named the
probably, yeah.
vampire straw?
Yeah.
So with that being said, he probably just deserves to be detained and miss his flight and have to pay for a change fee
Yeah.
and like a sharp slap on the wrist. Maybe a vampire straw to the wrist.
Ow, that would
But
hurt.
I'm just saying, like, he needs to understand if you purchase something named the vampire straw, it probably doesn't belong in your carry-on the plane.
True. No, that's fair for sure. But I do have one final question for you.
Okay.
You're on a plane. Two things are coming at you. Two individuals. Okay. You're in a scenario. Let's say we're on a train, actually. We're in a scenario.
Ooh, a train.
You're
Okay.
train. Two people are trying to steal your golf clubs. One
Ooh.
has a vampire straw and one has a shillelagh. Who do you not want to fight?
I don't want to fight the person with the vampire straw because it's
Really?
sharp. Listen, I don't want to have to deal with anything that's sharpened metal.
Yeah,
Sharpened
well,
metal is
a shillelagh could beat your brain in.
right, but the vampire straw could just slit my throat. So I'm going to take my chances with, I believe it was the 18-inch long wooden club. At least there's more surface area to be able to like get out of the way and you maybe move a little bit slower. But the vampire straw can be concealed easier. It can be held in a different, like in small areas. I'm looking at this thing. It is literally the width of a straw. It's not very big. So something like that is much scarier to me than someone with a shillelagh. Maybe it's the leprechaun at the end of the rainbow that's on the train and he's bringing me the pot of gold. And then another leprechaun trying to steal the pot of gold. And that guy has the shillelagh and I got to take care of him. I'm not scared of that. I'm not as scared of the shillelagh as I am of the vampire straw.
I'm scared of the shillelagh, for sure. For sure.
Well,
It's so much bigger. It could beat
I'm
my
bigger than
face. True, true. I think I could take a vampire straw down.
Because you take a vampire down.
No, and they're not real, just like the leprechaun and the rainbow and the pot of gold. Hate to break your heart.
I recently saw a TikTok of some TV show where this guy was convinced that he was a vampire by his girlfriend. His teeth were sharpened and everything. That was wild.
It's got to be on TLC. It's the only explanation.
It was absolutely wild. But on that note, yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Well, have a great week, everyone. We will talk to you next week.
Woo!
Woo!